I admit defeat. I know when I'm licked. It's time to take this porch transformation down, but before I do, I wanted to show you some of the design considerations and the details that went into making it. Hi, I'm Susie Dingle. Let's rewind a couple of days when I was able to film this during better conditions. We are launching right into the design details of the woodsy vintage porch transformation for the holidays. If you haven't seen part 1 and 2, part 1 was behind the scenes, 2 is the reveal. This was a fantasy porch, so I went with opposing scale. I wanted very tall and I wanted things very low, very big and very small, and that gives it more of an Alice in Wonderland magical kind of look. This is a small space. It's only about 5.5 feet wide and 12 feet long. So anytime you can work in an angle, that's great. One of the reasons I wanted to keep this ladder tree somewhat sparse is because I wanted some depth of field. I didn't want to pack it in too much, otherwise it would look oppressive and make the space look smaller. I adhere to a really tight color scheme. There is the brown of the building, which really did lead the decision making on a lot of things. I wanted warm and woodsy. So to the brown and white and green, I added some silver elements and just a little pop of red. Repetition of anything, shapes, colors, anything like that, sizes, is important, and if we scatter that around the garden, then our eye gets drawn from one place to the other. Over here is a very tiny green globe. Here's another repetition of shape and even color. We have the globe down there, and then up here we have a little globe floating in the center of the ladder. It's smaller, so that's good. You know, you don't want to repeat the same size too close to each other. So much of design is creating tension between unlike objects. Over here we have the marble stones. So these are marble stones, and there's even stone dust in there that I'll show you. And this, of course, is very textural. So we've got the larger stones with the very fine leaf of the evergreen, and they're very similar in color, but a little bit of the green pokes through on these silver leaves, which then relates to the green globe. And this, by the way, is the stone dust that has sat there through all this rain. This is just nylon mesh that's used in all kinds of sports projects and things like that. Nylon holds up really well outside. It will eventually degrade. The brown cones here pull the brown from the building down into the landscape. So it's marrying the structure with the elements in the landscape. And that's very important to ground the building and integrate the building with the landscape. A main consideration in designing anything really is, do you want it to be approached or not? How do you want to use it? So in this case, I definitely wanted this to be open and approachable, wide enough where you felt like you could get in there without any difficulty, but also that it appears cozy. This side of the porch, I wanted this to be very approachable. One of the ways to mitigate this bowling alley effect is to create some groupings along the way and also to use curves. So we have the curve here, and then it's not exactly a curve, but it's a little grouping here, then further on the grouping of the plants and a focal point. So basically what this has done is created kind of a little wiggly path. Other than the woodland theme, I would have to say that this is a study in both texture and scale, because it is such a dramatic
space.
Hope you enjoyed this.